recall. One of the biggest areas of concern when the COVID-19 pandemic began was childcare. The state was able to use CARES Act funding to assist licensed childcare providers or those with self-declaration certificates. Now that funding is being extended, our Lane Hankins spoke to a couple providers here in Bismarck to see how important these funds have been for them.
The Child Care Emergency Operating Grant originally took effect March 30th. The intent was to help our child care facilities keep their employees when the pandemic closures began, as class size restrictions were put in place and the demand for care dropped.
Yeah, it's just been great all around. For my teachers, they've kept them working. My kids have a place to go, and parents have a place to bring their children during this time. So that's been awesome.
One of the big pieces of the grant allowed providers to offer $50 per month holding fees to families who keep their kids at home. Had this grant never existed, these providers might have had some difficult decisions to make.
Either turn around and charge our parents full price, well, either some of them are getting laid off or their small businesses are in question, or we would have had to seriously contemplating letting a lot of staff go, which we have not had to do at this point. We've been able to keep all of our staff. And you know, the last thing would be, and that's something that we've always debated doing, is how big of a loan do we need to go and take out in order to stay afloat, keep our staff without gouging our parents or charging our parents this entire time.
The North Dakota Department of Human Services announced earlier today that their request to extend the grant has been approved by the Emergency Commission. The grant will now run through August 14th, right before many schools will begin their new school year. Since March 30th, $19 million have been distributed to child care providers across the state, and now another $9.6 million will be available on July 4th.
There's no way that this would have went as well as it did for us if we didn't have something like this in place.
In my mind, it was a necessity and a godsend for everybody, for my parents, for my kids, for my teachers.
Reporting in Bismarck for KX News, I'm Lane Hankins.
The state says the grant money has helped more than 775 licensed and self-declared child care providers remain open as they've cared for some 16,000 plus children.
Rugby Prairie